This is the regular meeting of the Leonard Village Council. Today is November the 11th, Monday. We're meeting at Rowland Hall. I want to, on behalf of the council, I want to send out our thoughts and prayers to the veterans in whose honor the day is named, for all they've done for our country. And also, will never be forgot. So with that, could we have everybody rise for a pledge of allegiance and a brief invocation? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear God, we thank you for this day given to us, and we pray that you would bless the meeting today and give us wisdom as we go through it. And we just pray for all the residents here in Leonard that you would keep everybody safe and healthy. In your name, amen.
Mr. Ashley, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, then moving on, could we have a roll call of the village council for attendance, please?
Sure. McDonald,
Here?
Kennedy,
Mark him excused.
okay. Pelichick,
Here.
Zwack,
Here.
Hawkins.
Here.
And note for the record that both Clerk Lori Zelenak and Treasurer Judy Verse are present. The council has before you, the minutes of our regular meeting for October 14th, 2024. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? Finding none, a motion to approve the minutes would be in order.
I will make a motion to approve the minutes for October 14th, 2024.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of adoption of the minutes of October 14th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion carries. Council has before it proposed agenda for this evening. Are there any additions, deletions? If none, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order.
I would like to add the reading of a resolution to as item number 10 in the trustee committee reports.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
And then I would like to approve the amended, I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda, and then you can second.
Second that as well.
There we go.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve an amended agenda. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, moving on then. We have the treasurer's report. Are there any questions or changes from the council?
I will make a motion to approve and file the treasurer's report for October 2024.
I'll second.
Okay, are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, I'm sorry, we need a roll call for that, please.
Oh, sure. McDonald,
Yes.
Zwack,
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
And Pelichick. Oops.
Okay, motion carries. And we'll move on to budget amendments. These amendments will be to our current budget, which this current budget ends in February of 2025. Meanwhile, we're going to make a few adjustments just so that it reflects accurately our expenditures and our income. So the treasurer provided us with the page that says budget adjustments November 11th. And then the spreadsheet that you received with your board packet has a column with this date on it for those amendments. But the amendments in summary are as you can find there. Judy, was there one change?
Yeah, there's one change on it. Under general fund, under decrease, you need to add equipment maintenance for $500. And then change that 20,000 to 20,500. It was just left out. It's on the actual budget listing, but it was left off the sheet for changes.
Equipment maintenance is fine.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Judy, for putting this sheet together. It makes it a lot easier than trying to go through the whole budget, find each line item, so. And we, of course, the main thing is that we end up with a balanced budget after we do this. It will, just as it is now. The overall expense budget and income budget will be $299,160.19. Then for major fund, drains and miscellaneous get paid for. We transferred money from sidewalks and blacktop repair. It doesn't affect the overall budget change. Then for local fund expenses, income was, let's see, Judy, where am I right here? The income, local road, the local road improvement plan, which is the plan that we match funds with Oakland County Board of Commissioners, was $6,279. And we're decreasing the budget by that same amount. And this does change the overall income and expense budget to $17,673. Yeah, I see that. So it's $17,673.
Right.
So are there any questions for me or for Judy? If none, it would be appropriate for there to be a motion to adopt the budget amendments as presented.
I will make a motion to adopt the budget amendments as presented for the 2024.
25 budget.
It is the 2024, 2025 village budget.
I'll support.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the village budget amendments as presented. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call then, Lori, please?
Swag,
Yes.
Hawkins,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Pellicet.
Okay. Motion carries. And, let's see. Okay, so we approve those, and we'll move on to paying the bills, now that we know where the money is coming from and going to. The accounts payable are listed in the amounts for each. Are there any questions on those bill payments for the month of October? If not, a motion to pay the bills would be in order.
I will make a motion to pay the bills for October 2024 in the amounts of general, $10,487.57. Major, $11,485.55. Local, $1,180.50. And Mill and Park at $76.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call to pay the bills, Lori?
Swag,
Yes.
Pellicet.
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes. Okay, motion carries. Okay, at this time in the meeting, this is an opportunity for the public to address the village council on matters that may not necessarily be on the agenda. We ask that you be brief and to the point and address the chair or the president with those questions or comments. Would anybody care to address the village council? Okay, hearing no indication from the public, we'll move on to the next item, which is a public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant Program for the village for 2025, which is administered through Oakland County Block Grant. So in order to do that, we'll need to
You need a motion to close?
we'll have to do a roll call vote to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing.
I will make a motion to close the regular meeting of the Village of Leonard and open the public hearing for Community Development Block Grant Funds for 2025.
Support.
We have a motion and a second to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing. Are there any questions from the council? Hearing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Swack,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Pellicet, Hawkins.
Yes.
Okay, we are now in a public hearing. We're asking for the public's input. If you have any comments on where you think the village should be, whether it should participate in the block grant program, whether there's a particular need that isn't being addressed through the program, we're ready to listen to those comments.
What sort of things does the block grant cover? What are potential,
There are a lot of potential things that it covers. However, the village, there are also in cities and across Oakland County, there are many different economic variables that pertain either to the entire community or to a portion of the community. As it happens, the Village of Leonard has only a few potential uses. One of them is public administration. Another is what we've already done, remove architectural barriers, minor home repair. Sometimes we have transferred the money to other programs, like the home improvement program for our residents. If one of our residents takes a loan out and we have funds available, we've transferred it to that use. But that's in a nutshell. Lori, is there more that we should?
There really isn't anywhere else to go with it. I mean, and you're right, that's exactly, they want us to improve our spending ratio, which you can see by the sheet is 2.36. They're getting pretty militant about wanting to recover those funds, so we have to aggressively spend, and
we
then,
need somebody to apply for this and
Right, our community is so small that we have literally gone years with no one applying for funding.
right.
we've had,
Eligible people applying for funding, I should.
and there have been excellent projects that have come out of this.
Oh, absolutely.
Furnaces, hot water tanks, wells.
But it has become more and more difficult and
Qualify.
complex. It used to be a relatively straightforward process, but now we have, not only do we have the usual lead, if you're doing modifications on a home, you have to certify it lead-free, or you can't disturb the paint in a home that's older than 50 years, or 1978, something like that. And we also have to now, as of this year, we have to submit a state historical society survey so that they can determine whether or not there might have an effect on a historic building. Lori is much more familiar with the complexity of it because she manages it for the village as part of her duties. So is there anything you want to add to that, Lori?
You know, it has become a little frustrating, you know, but I think because the project does good, I want to continue going forward and still applying for it, just because on the chance that it could help somebody. And if they do recover the funds, I guess they do recover the funds. What I'm hoping is, with some of the older funds where we're out of compliance, like, I know that I'm kind of jumping out of topic right now, but just if it's paramount to the conversation, the 2021 Remove Architectural Barriers Fund, if I can move that, and we'll have to have a separate hearing to have that conversation. We can't have it today, but they're breathing down my neck about it. They're going to take it back. That if, what I'm hoping is maybe in the future that we could maybe move that money either to Oxford Addison Youth Assistance to help pay for something, or to Haven. And they've allowed those kind of transfers in the past without it being like really, really, really involved.
Not
It's-
having to reprogram, they just take the money and,
Yeah, and it may be a little reprogramming involved in it, and that's why it's kind of a separate hearing, but you know, we can kind of put that aside, and I think that like our safest bet, our best bet is to help a resident here that could use it. And just because if we look at where the funds are at, we're not gonna see money coming back into minor home repair for a few years, because the last time we funded it was 2023. So right now, we'll be looking at 2025, but we don't see that money till 2026. So,
Is there any cost to the program for the village to be in it? Just the cost of you doing tons of
Just,
paperwork?
you know,
Just
just
Lori's
sometimes
time,
occasionally banging my head up against the wall, but other than that,
so that means plaster
I
repair
should be getting
upstairs.
better at it, but for some reason I'm not.
And the
So-
only reason I ask is just to prompt the question for the crowd, just to see if anybody
Right,
would.
it's, we have two places to really put it, and it's remove architectural barriers or minor home repair. Those are really the only two places we can put it. Like I said, after the fact, there's ways that we can work it out, and, you know, what I'm hoping is, because they're gonna take that other money back, that we can have a conversation later about the 2021.
And remove
Okay?
architectural barriers could be on someone's house. Is it right
Yeah,
or no?
yes,
I mean, this could be
yes.
adding a ramp, this could be
Yeah,
Yes,
widening a doorway, things that are
believe
costly,
so.
and yet.
I think you're right.
we've not,
Yeah.
we've not used or had any requests to do that. The one we did have one request, Christmas in Action did it rather than the village, block grant fund, so.
I think it's just more important to keep it in
Available.
people's heads.
Right.
This is what, you know, so when you hear of that person that's
I th-
in need, that you're able to.
We really should leave the public hearing to discuss this further. But is there any other comment regarding the block grant program? Okay, hearing none.
I will make a motion to close the public hearing for community block grant funds for 2025 and reopen the regular meeting of the Village of Leonard.
Support.
Council.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, a quick roll call would be in order, I think.
Swack,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes.
Hawkins,
Yes.
Pelichick.
Okay. Okay, we're back in regular session now, the regular meeting. So we'll move on to new business, which the first item of business is the Community Development Block Grant Program for 2025. This would be for the council to authorize the village participation agreement, as well as to indicate what activity or activities that we would suggest would be the program use for that 2025 budget year. And as Lori indicated, it is ridiculous how long it takes them to authorize us to spend this money. It will be mid to late 2025, or mid to late 2025 before they even make it available to us. So, that being said, what's the pleasure of the council then? Do you have a recommendation, Lori, based on your experience?
I feel,
And based on what you're saying, is there any reason to try to get some of these older monies to just go to, you know, the youth assistance or something? Just give them
Right,
up, because they're
and-
gonna take them regardless. I'd rather they gave them to
Correct.
somebody that can.
and so what we have to do is have a public hearing to discuss the movement of those funds to those. So unfortunately, we can't have that conversation today, but I am 100% on board with doing exactly that, because it would just solve a multitude of problems, because the,
Put something out there that says this is the
Abs-
intention, and give people a little bit of time and try to gather up
correct.
something.
And then what we need to start working off of, once we clear the books, is just working off of our two most recent years that we have and nothing else. That's what really has to happen in order for us to be in compliance. So really, it's just, I mean, I feel like in my heart, minor home repair is where the money should go. But, you know, of course, it's the decision of council to decide that.
Well, in today, as we all are aware, with today's economy, $6,000 is, it won't, it might help replace a well. It might buy a new furnace. It might help a septic system. I
Yeah,
know,
it
but I'm
does.
just saying, if we double that, the problem is that the county also limits us on how much and how often we can assist the same recipient. So if we have someone that has a septic system that's gonna cost $10,000, even if we have the 10,000 in our account, it's like pulling teeth to get approval to spend it, because the county has this policy. We've done it in the past, but there's a whole new management team at the county managing the program.
And as with everything, they probably want to send the most funds to the
Right.
most people, but that one person really,
But
really.
I think the most likely direct benefit would be minor home repair, because we already know that if we don't use what money we have for the sidewalk project that didn't get done this year, we did get the tree down, and hopefully we'll be able to use the funds, minor home repair funds for that. But, no, it's not minor, it's remove architectural barriers, isn't it? For that, and that'll use some of that money up from past years.
So there's actually, so 2024 has already been used.
Yeah,
We used
that's,
that one.
RAB is remove architectural barriers.
Okay, so that one's done. So the only two, are you saying the 6,000 and the 3,500 are the only ones that you can actually use? 7,000
Yeah.
probably has to go away?
It appears that way.
Yes.
And that's why we can give them some direction. Tell them that if the money goes somewhere, if there's a home improvement program per resident or benefiting organization that, that they could steer it to, that's what we would prefer, but we won't have control over it after that. And I think we're gonna have to we'll have to understand, and the county will have to understand that because of the size of our community, we just don't generate the need. We obviously have people that could benefit from it, but we don't.
Don't always
They don't,
qualify.
they don't, yeah, or they don't qualify, or they don't even.
don't ask.
They don't apply for it, so. So, I would recommend that it go into minor home repair for 2025. What are the thoughts of the council?
I would agree with that.
I agree.
Okay, would there be a motion then to authorize the village president to enter into the the county participation agreement for 2025, and that the activity would be the minor home repair activity for the funds received?
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions from the residents? Hearing none. Could we have a roll call on that, please? Lori?
Swack,
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Pellicet. Yes. McDonald's.
Yes. Okay. Motion carries. Next item is the Oxford Community Cable contribution. You should have found a small sheet, has very little printing on it, in your packet. We traditionally, we used to have PEG fees that were paid by Charter. Charter found a loophole and was able to eliminate their payment of PEG fees at the beginning of the last agreement, which was several years ago. Since that time, there's been accounting problems because AT&T still, on the spreadsheet, it says Michigan Bell, but it's actually AT&T. They do pay us PEG fees.
It's really direct.
It's owned by AT&T, yeah. So they, AT&T pays us PEG and franchise fees. which are discretion, the PEG fees have to go to the cable system. Franchise fees can be sent to the cable system as well, or retained for other purposes within the community. So, there was a previous meeting when we approved the last agreement. It wasn't clear in that agreement. We said we wanted to, the cable commission asked for all of the money. They wanted the PEG fees and they wanted all of the franchise fees. We have not paid all of the franchise fees in 20 years. We've kept a portion of it for our local operations. So tonight, for clarification purposes, I am recommending that the council continue to obviously transfer the PEG fees received from AT&T to the Cable Commission, and then the franchise fees, which aren't a lot of money, would be retained for the, Judy, am I saying that right?
Well, everything that comes in from DirecTV goes, franchise and the pay. Charter, anything that comes in for charter, they get 60% and we keep 40.
Okay. Okay, so right now they get 60. For budgetary purposes,
So like for this quarter, of the 1,500 we received, charter is gonna get 900 of it.
right. So we,
Plus the Michigan Bell and the PEG fees.
right.
Cable's gonna get, right?
OCTV gets it.
OCTV gets it, okay.
So we either want to continue that ratio of payment, or we can alter it, the percentage. I mean,
For advice on that one, because I don't know why I would change it, or why I would do something differently. Is there any reason to do something different?
well, the village is the one that basically brings that money in, village residents, and they get it back in the form of services
Educational
from
fee.
PEG, yeah, whatever. It doesn't do any more than that. So we can either continue with the 60% or alter it. My recommendation is that if we're gonna alter it, we only alter it a small amount. I mean, I think 50% is more than fair, but that's, I'm sorry, I got a new phone, I don't know how to turn that thing off. They used to have a little switch on the side,
You know what, where does use your phone?
so, I turned it all, the volume down, but apparently the beeps.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it takes.
I got the same phone.
Takes young people that know how to use that.
Oh, I like your thought today, thank you.
So I'm just throwing it out there for discussion. So give me some feedback. And if we don't do anything, then, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna make a motion then, that the, village PEG fees received from either entity would automatically be transferred to the Oxford Community Cable TV system, and that 60% of the charter funds be sent to Oxford Cable TV, and the balance would remain with the village,
So you're keeping it as is.
basically as is.
And then, does that also include the AT&T franchise fees? Those
The AT&T
are
fees
DirecTV.
currently all go to the cable, and that would continue.
So
If it was
it's,
just charter,
okay, so
That would
it's AT&T
be-
franchise and the PEG fees and charter, 60% go to OCTV. We only retain 40% of charter.
So are you saying 60% of the Michigan Bell one too? Wait,
No,
that's
no, all of Bell
All-
stays the same.
yep,
Charter,
everything stays the same.
charter,
Yep.
because they don't pay a PEG fee, will send them 60% of the franchise payment.
oh, I see. That's what you're kind of accounting for.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
And this way, it's all in writing, you know, it'll say that specifically
Yeah.
in the motion. If there's a second.
I will make a second on it. Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you. Okay, are there any questions on the motion? Okay, could we have a roll call for that, since it involves money, Laurie?
McDonald,
Yes.
Swack,
Yes,
Hawkins,
Yes.
Pellicet.
Okay, thank you for that. Village received a copy of the Almont Master Plan of Almont Township Master Plan. We're not in a directly abutting community, however, part of our, part of Addison Township's, residents are in the Almont School District, so I suspect that's why they offered it to us for our input. It's been available. We have not had any requests or any changes for it, and there's no need for us to respond unless the council wants to, on that. They're required to send it to certain entities, but it's not required that we respond. So unless there is a desire to respond, we'll move on if nobody has anything. Anybody? Okay. Moving on to the next item, village Christmas tree lighting, the Elmwood Street closure, Sunday, December 8th, from 3 PM to 8:30 PM. Is that late enough, Jennifer? Do you recall? Yeah. Okay, that would be East Elmwood from Forest to Division. Are there any questions? If not, a motion to do so would be in order.
I will make a motion to close Elmwood between Forest and Division on December 8th from 3 to 8:30 PM for the village Christmas tree lighting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to close Elmwood Street on those dates and times, please say aye.
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 Opposed, please say no. Okay, motion carries. Next item is the Village of Leonard 25-26 budget introduction. As I mentioned earlier, in that, Judy did do a separate spreadsheet for us with those changes. The only major,
You need to take one off that chair, because I think you don't have it in your. There's, yeah, get it off the chair.
I feel like I have two, a stapled one and a non-stapled one.
the, basically, very, very small changes on the income side. You'll notice that the local road improvement program is still included in there. We don't know yet what the funds will be for that, but that's basically money in, money out evenly. Whatever we receive from them, we'll get that back. Of course, the bull in the china shop is the getting ready for the Forest Street construction that needs to be done. And frankly, there's really, we don't know yet what our actual account reserves will look like. That can only be handled maybe, well, it'll be mid-year in 2025 before we have a good idea. After the new budget's adopted and all the expenses are paid out for the current budget, before we'll know how much money's there. And then the council will have to plan accordingly. If you want to try and, we have the funding set for 2027, the first, to do half of Forest Street, which half will have to be determined, and paying for it, basically. So whatever you can try to plan on using a portion of the account reserve towards the project, and then that will help you figure out if you can do the project and how much money we'll have to borrow. We've always sold a municipal bond we used $150,000 the last 2 years, 2017 and 2011. However, with the prices and everything, as you saw from all of the projections, it's gonna be a lot more expensive. So it's not anything we can control, but it'll be something that you'll have to budget for. And then, on the budget expenses side for the general fund, I'm recommending to the council that that there be increases for the planning commission, the employees, and the legislative, being the trustees, planning commission. Basically, it's like $5 a meeting additional for the planning commission. The trustees, what was it, Judy?
$5,
Additional, well, no, per meeting,
$5 a meeting,
$5 a meeting,
extra, yeah. So
yeah,
it's
and,
5 now.
and then really the only employees that are affected are the administrative assistant and the DPW, people. So there's minor increases in those categories. Sanitation services, we've always planned on 6%, and I'm hopeful that 6% increase is all we see at this point. It's a battle out there to keep costs down. So, and there's very limited companies available. So that's gone up considerably. But I think that covers. Was there anything else, Judy? I don't think, other than the road grader, if it does show up in this budget year, I don't see that there's a major piece of equipment needed for 2025, 26.
Under the general fund expense, general services, admin, you've got clerk, treasurer, admin, inspectors. The adjusted budget from 24 to 25 goes from 9,800 to 1,000.
From 24 to 25.
It doesn't go up, it goes way down.
You see it?
Just under the
Oh.
inspectors.
It goes from 11 to, I'm not sure where you're looking.
Right there, you got inspectors goes from 9,800 to,
Well, okay, yeah. Yeah,
does that make sense?
yeah, and that's one of the things we did tonight was amend the current year
10,000.
up, because we never know what we're gonna make on building. And it is a wash, because by law, the village can't make money on building permits or construction fees. It has to be even. So we get a percentage of the permits, but most of the money goes to the inspectors themselves. So that's a wash.
this one
So
doesn't
that,
make
yeah, that amount is what we usually put in there. I mean, we could put more, but we use that.
No.
So,
As long as that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, well, we're not gonna adopt this tonight. I just wanted to get this in your hands so that you can be prepared for, we'll try and adopt it, or you should try and adopt it January or February.
Right, no later than January.
Yeah, no later than January. So you can do it in December if need be, but plan on January. And speaking of that, if does if the council wants a budget meeting, just to discuss it, let me or Judy know, or Lori.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea with a changeover and
That's entirely up to the council, but sure, yeah. And you've got time to figure that out.
Yeah.
So, okay. Moving on then to Village Park land access acquisition. As you may recall, when the village used our donated funds and the infrastructure, or not infrastructure, but park grant, we came up with a plan to develop the nature park. Part of that plan included having a connector directly to the Pollyant Trail. But because of the nature of the intersection there was a small part or piece of privately owned land that we would have to acquire an easement or a purchase in order to put a sidewalk in that would be away from the road. And so I discussed it with the property owners who are here tonight. And I'd like to ask the council to authorize the village president to negotiate and complete a transaction to purchase the property. So we're not gonna have an easement, we will actually own the land. And we will give the property owners $200, and we will cover all of the legal fees for making we've already got a legal description, but we'll have to make sure that the legal description is recorded at the clerks, and the county clerks, and also with the township. So the village president could be authorized in order to do that work.
I will make a motion to authorize the village president to negotiate with property owners for the purchase of the land needed to complete the sidewalk for the park project.
Yeah, access, construction access, yeah.
I'll support.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any comment from the council? Mr. and Mrs. Ashley, anything?
Are we gonna get a copy that all this is done?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
We just don't want us to be involved in any lawsuits or anything like that.
Right.
That's why $200,
No,
maybe.
it's appreciated, and it'll make a big difference. And yes, I kind of, being a bit conservative, why would you want to maintain ownership of a piece of property that you know is going to be well-traveled? I mean, technically, liability coverage would rest with the village regardless, but,
It's peace of mind at your
Yeah.
side,
yeah,
for sure.
okay. If there's nothing else, then could we have a roll call vote? Laura?
Pellicet, Swack,
Yes.
McDonald,
Yes,
Hawkins.
Yes.
okay.
You can
Okay.
check out the Cindy Ashley. I'm gonna get it anyway.
Okay. Okay, old business, we're still in the process of trying to get a timeline from the company that has engaged the attorneys regarding the demolition of the dangerous building. No.
Trying to save it.
And, but I have nothing more than that. They were given 30 days. Their 30 days is just about, we're a couple days away from that, so we could hear
I
something.
wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath either. It's unfortunate, though.
It is, it's just gonna
Okay.
get worse. But that's fine.
And then, the village council authorized the clean out of the Leonard Trailhead ditch. It's scheduled right now for the third week in November.
Where are you talking, the trailhead? The parking lot?
No, the ditch that runs between the parking lot and Beza Street, that comes from your property.
Oh, that, okay.
But can we will you allow us to go on your property? Okay.
As long as you don't rip it to shreds.
Well, the idea is to fix it up, you know.
That would be nice to
And-
have that draining.
Yeah, I agree. And I did look, have you looked at the pipe lately, Fred? It was about,
Pipe's gotta come out.
it was 2/3 full.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
cleaned it and cleaned it for years,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't do any good.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help to have the water laying there, just,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, so that's where we are with that. And then, as far as purchase of the road grader, I had a conversation probably three or 4 weeks ago with the owner. He says he's still working on it. It's just, I don't know when we'll actually see it, or if we'll see it. But that'll be somebody else's problem after November 20th.
He's working on it.
Okay. Okay, DPW, we did get the brakes, put on the truck, so it should be in good shape to, tackle the winter season. For my part, the president's report, we received no FOIA requests. Did we, Lori? I don't think,
We did not.
no. We had no, applications for block grant assistance, ordinance enforcement, there's no new activities. Village election results, we had a swearing in, before the meeting of, Mr. Hawkins, our village treasurer, our trustee Pelichick. But we have, not received approval or certification from the County Board of Canvassers. There was one write-in candidate, Mr. Moore, who put in for village president. But until we get authorized by the county, our hands are tied at this point.
You're still checking my police record.
Yeah.
Take a while.
Yeah, it's a long one. Anyway, but, the election went well. We had no problems here, Roland Hall, everything worked and all set for that. I did receive, I've been working with Pauline Bennett at the township clerk, to find funds possibly to get a generator for Roland Hall. And we're looking for grants, to do that. But, I did get a quote, because we had to provide a quote with the grant application saying how much, we're talking about. We're talking about $29,000. So we'll see what happens. Okay, we did complete the local road improvement. We got the drains and regraded Division Street by Beza and by the alley. So that job's done. Summer Festival Committee, I don't think there's anything going on right now. Actually, they're meeting right now, online. They had an online meeting tonight, right, Lori?
Yep, they did.
Yeah. Cable Commission, John, anything?
Yeah, the last meeting was canceled, but the next one will be in December 2nd, so.
Okay. Decorating Committee, Village looks good, Yvonne. All the planters and everything, it looks like we're gonna be covered in snow pretty quick, but
Clean those up this week.
it was a good Halloween, for sure. Everything was really nice. North Oakland Transportation, our next meeting's November 21st. Council will have to appoint, someone to attend that meeting. There's basically 3 meetings that the village has to be represented at. That's the NODA meetings, the Pollyant Trail meetings, and the Cable Commission meetings. That you'll have to be prepared for that.
Can we appoint you?
No, it has to be an elected official.
I'm just messing.
One official has to be elected.
I know. Do we have to do that tonight, or can somebody
Well,
just
that's-
go to that one?
It's at your discretion. As long as you're represented by someone, that should be fine.
So let everybody check calendars too, since the 21st. We are canceling
Planning Commission?
Planning Commission. Those two will, looks like they may overlap sometimes.
How long do those meetings usually last, John?
The cable committee? About the same as here, maybe like anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour. And
NOTA usually is half an hour, 45 minutes.
Takes longer to get there.
Supervisor Pearson, about half an hour, 45 minutes for NOTA?
for Nota?
Yeah,
Yes, maybe an hour.
at the outside, it's an hour. It starts at 4:30.
Oh, it's a 4:30 one.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
It's very well organized.
Yeah, yeah, those are,
Just making sure we can get there. All right.
okay.
If-
Yeah, it's up to the council if you want to wait to see what the outcome of the election is as far as the
It's a good thing.
president office goes, or one of the trustees wants to take that on, either temporarily or permanently.
I'll take it as a temporary one. Those earlier meetings are difficult, so.
All right, planning commission, cancel for,
Commission will be canceled. I would like to make a motion to cancel the planning commission for November 21st.
I'll second.
any questions on the motion? To cancel a regular planning commission meeting, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, the meeting is officially canceled. We gonna,
Lori, we've had 3, we still have 3 left. We've had 3 meetings, and we still have 3 opportunities.
Oh, you scared me. I forgot the way the fiscal works.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
I did too.
okay,
Yeah,
and you'll
so we
let
can-
everybody know?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Okay, Pollyant Trailway Management Council, that's another one that should be represented. As it happens, it's on November 20th.
What time does that one start?
That one starts at 3. I know, I used to have to leave work early to go to that.
The kids can take the bus.
But, if there's, again, that's up to the council if you want to deal with that tonight, or just somebody temporarily attend. I mean, you can miss a meeting, occasional meeting. I don't think we're doing budget, are we, Bruce?
No,
I don't believe so. Yeah. So it's,
All right, I'll take that one too. Temporarily.
But you need a backhoe, a shovel, a rake.
yeah,
Actually,
there's a lot of work involved in that.
already in my car. Good.
Yeah.
If anybody's got it, it's me.
And your spouse, don't forget your spouse.
Okay, got him.
No, thank you
I'll
for
bring my
that.
neighbors and everything.
Yeah, you can sort this out at your next meeting, too. All right, Village Park, there's nothing, we had nothing going on there. The balance report, you saw when we were looking at the, block grant, applications. And then, at this time, we already did the swearing in, so now is a resolution from the trustees.
So we have a resolution from the trustees. This resolution does declare and resolve, and I won't read the entire thing in full. We wish to recognize and express appreciation for the village president, Michael McDonald, and for his citizenship and involvement in the Village of Leonard Council as president. Wish to recognize his contributions of service to the village in support of the village activities, representing the village on the Pollyant Trailway Management Council for 16 years, currently serving as secretary, and 9 years as chairperson, board member on North Oakland, on NOTA, for 16 years. On-call firefighter for Addison Township Department for 4 years, instrumental in saving the Leonard Mill, wrote grants, facilitated creation of the park plan. Jeez, oh Pete's. Let's see, Oakland County Christmas in Action, we've got all of this, and we want to recognize Mike for all the years of service.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay. It wasn't just me. There were a lot of people working in the background not just from the village either. So it's, I really appreciate everything that everybody's
I don't know
done.
if she needs it or not.
This meeting is much nicer than the one I had with Mike 12 years ago. 12 years ago, we were receiving the restrooms up in the watershed park, and the bottom had filled up with ice, and the new restrooms were arriving the next morning, and I couldn't, they were coming from Texas with big cranes to put them in. And so Mike called me just on a whim at night, and he said, "What are you doing tonight?" I said, "I'm in the bottom of a 6-foot ditch where the restroom are going to be chopping ice out and trying to throw it out." And he said, "Well, hold on a minute, I'll be right there." So here we are chopping ice that was probably a half a foot thick and throwing it out so that the restrooms could be delivered. And 11 o'clock at night we got done. I just want to let you know that these are the things that Mike and I have done besides putting the railings up at the Sweaty Hill, redoing the restrooms.
Fred helped with the corral. We had, yeah,
Now
yeah.
over here, these are things that we just do on our own, and I could not have done a lot of this stuff without the help of Mike. I met Mike in 1988, and we've been in government here now since 2008, when we were both elected at the same time for supervisor and for village president. And we worked hand in hand to try to enhance both the village and the township. And I would just like to say that this is my gain for Mike to come as the treasurer. But on top of that, you put forth 2 of your best candidates to come to the township. So I would like to thank both of you for stepping up and coming to the township as to be elected for the treasurer. So, but it's my gain at the township, all of us, because we're all township residents, that Mike is coming and as a treasurer, and I know he'll do an excellent job. So, anyway, I want to just give you a little rundown that he works he worked very tirelessly at night doing all of this stuff, and nobody really ever knows that we could have been out there still digging.
Well, thank you very much for your kind words and all that. And it takes a village, and I won't say this at the township, Bruce, it takes a village. And the village has always looked out for its own. So,
Before trustee Swack gets the motion for the resolution to be approved, I just wanted to add something to what Mr. Pearson said. And that is that when we were working on this resolution, I made a few phone calls and just said, just kind of wondering, because this guy over here does so much, but he's so quiet about it. And even working with him for 3 years, he doesn't brag. He doesn't ever say, I'm tired from all the things I was doing, but I call around and I find out that, I accidentally called a young Eagle Scout by accident, thinking it was Linda Moran, because their phone numbers are nearly identical on my phone. And I reached him up at Michigan Tech. He's going to college up there. And he said, "Lori, I want you to know that you got the wrong number, but I want to follow up with you because Mike did something great for me too. When I was working on that Eagle Scout project, I used to live in Romeo, and I went to Romeo Council, and they blew me off and treated me like I was nobody. And when I came to Leonard, you guys embraced me. I didn't have enough money to make this project happen, and Mike wrote me a grant. Not only to do that, but when we were done, he dug the posts, he hung the signs, we worked together, and he really facilitated me getting it done. And it's all of the things. It's you managing that water at the trail, and what a pain in the fanny that is, that you have to go back 8 and 10 times, testing that dumb well and running that water for hours, and building the corral, and all the work you do at DPW. How do our roads get plowed? It's Mike. How do things get fixed and repaired? It's Mike. Building maintenance. There's just so much you do, and in-kind services. Linda Moran had just terrible things to say about you, though, I have to say. So I asked her for 5 minutes, and she talked for a half hour about just what you've done with the trail and how amazing. And then I reached out to Linda and Doug, and with the park committee. And, they said, I have to come tonight. I have to wish them well. So there's a big crowd for the Village of Leonard, and I'll let you take the floor back, but I just didn't want to let it
That
go
was-
without saying,
We were making a motion to adopt this resolution, so I guess we would just do
So is there a motion?
yeah, that was the motion is in there, so
Okay.
we can make up the motion and that one.
Is there support?
Yeah, I'll support.
Yeah.
Roll call or all in favor?
I think it all in favor.
All in
Lord.
favor
Yeah.
of of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Please say no.
Hearing none.
And listen, I appreciate the generous words and the recognition, but I did not do it all by myself. Doug and Linda have been out there. Kay worked tirelessly over here at the hall. Fred's been over, working on the trail at the trailhead. Bill's been managing trying to get the Water Resources Commission to do something about the Leonard Drain. I mean, it takes a village. It may look like I'm doing it, but it's just without the support, especially on the council, none of this would happen. So I very much thank you and appreciate your coming tonight. And I'm not dying. I'm just going to a different job. Okay, so I'll be around.
I know what time his day ends.
Thank you.
What you doing
Okay.
out here?
Tell us the tales about you and Bruce, outside of.
Oh.
We better close the meeting
I wouldn't
first
know
before
what-
we do that.
I wouldn't know what you're talking about, but, okay, if there's nothing further, what's the pleasure of the council?
I will make a motion to adjourn
Support.
at 8:01.
All in favor of the motion to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. And it looks like we have some coffee and cake.
We do. We do.
Everybody's welcome.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.